What's going on, spiritualites? Welcome back for another video. It's your man Crypto Spiritual here, and in this one I want to take you through a little bit of backtesting today. Side note really quick before we get started, as you probably noticed that zero is still on my charts. I remember last week I mentioned that I wouldn't be using it, but you know what, I just gotten used to having it on my chart, and maybe I'll delete it one day. And I don't use it too heavily, but it's still on there because at this point I think I'm just used to seeing it. So it's on there for further notice, but I did want to clear that up. Anyway, so this week I really wanted to take a look at the RSI Plus. But having the week that I had, I really needed to take a step back. So for those that know, I used to be a baseball player. And so when I would play, you have the off season of where you're not playing, and either you're playing a different sport or you're practicing. In my case, I'd play a different sport for a season, and then I'd practice the other season leading up to baseball season. So I'm practicing, practicing, practicing. And then when you finally get into the game, all that practice pays off. So for me anyway, I always started the year really hot hitting the ball. I'd been practicing all winter long. And so finally when it came to the spring, when I actually got to go up against a real pitcher, I was super excited. So somewhere towards the back half of the season, I say, is where I would always cool off. And I never really understood why until I kind of look back at my career and what I had done. And during the season, I didn't practice as much as I used to practice before the season started. And so when you're in the swing of things, you think, okay, well, I'm doing it every day. I'm going up against hitters every day. I'm having a little bit of batting practice in between, but nothing too much. You don't take it too seriously. You have a high batting average. You hit a couple home runs. You get comfortable. And so I think that's what happened to me. I think here I've been putting so much work in to become profitable. And the second that I do become profitable that week, the next week I followed it up with a blunder. Now, I know there's some other stuff going on in my life, and that is true, but I really do want to look at how I'm approaching this, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it the right way. And when I look back at last week versus the weeks leading up to last week, I saw a significant drop off in the amount of time I just put backtesting and practicing. And so I thought for a second that I wasn't good at using Bitcoin, or because I was trading too much on XRP and I wasn't giving Solana enough love, and so I'm losing those trades too. And I found that once I got profitable and I had that awesome week that got me into the positive, I really decided, okay, I've got this now. And so I'm only going to trade when I'm looking for trades, and I'm not going to continue to backtest and refine my strategy. And so I started experimenting with the zero, but it wasn't really a true backtest, a true just staying in the flow of it. So it's like I was going to the batting cage, but I wasn't really taking it seriously. I'd swing a couple real times, but overall just kind of, lightweight, work through, didn't want to work too hard because I knew I was good enough. But in this case, I've learned that I've got to make sure I stay on top of the practice and continue to hone the craft. I don't think it's something where I will be able to just take a few days off, or where I can just open it up and hop into a trade whenever I feel like after taking a couple days off. I think consistently I will have to put in work in order to become very good at this, to where I can stay in that positive zone. And I still am, right? I still am, but I really do think that I need to stay on top of it. So what I've committed to doing as of right now today is that I will always get 10 back tests per day. And the idea is that I go through one full week on Solana, one full week of Bitcoin, and one full week of XRP in a backtesting setting. So with 10 trades a day, I do believe I'll be able to do that per week and be able to keep that up. And so some days I'll obviously be able to do more than 10, and some days I'll have to do just that 10 and get off for the day. But I think if I commit to at least 10 quality backtesting trades, and then leading to one quality week for each of the coins that I'm trading now, I think that'll go a long way in keeping me in rhythm and making sure that I'm always ready to step up to the plate when the trade comes. Okay, and with that being said, every great backtesting idea needs a new backtesting sheet. And so here's what it's going to look like. So I'm going to have the week of the Sunday day, whatever Sunday is, a pair. I'll have the number of wins that I have, the number of break evens, and the number of losses. I'll calculate my win percentage. I'll have my win-loss ratio, and then I'll have my break even to loss ratio, looking to see how many times I'm actually coming away with zero versus how many times I'm, losing that full 1% and seeing if I can get that number down as well. So I'll be looking at those two different ratios. Obviously, I'll have a place here for notes, but it's going to be a whole week of back testing. It takes away a lot of the pressure of making sure I log every single trade when I'm back testing, and it gives me kind of a grand scale idea, like how am I looking over time? And that's kind of what I want to do anyway. So logging each individual trade, I felt like kind of got monotonous and it was hard to continue to do. But I think plugging in weeks into here will be a lot more interesting to see kind of that growth over the time as I go further down this backtesting spreadsheet. Okay, so in this video, I'd like to quickly go through a few trades that I've been backtesting on Bitcoin, and then I'll do a few live trades. It looks like I'm ending here on a Tuesday morning back in 2021, so I'll just go ahead and continue on and take, a few trades and kind of explain my logic. So in the last video, I mentioned that I was too far zoomed out. So what I really want to do is kind of make sure I'm taking these trades and they're lasting for less than, 2 to 3 hours. I don't want to be in a trade for longer than that time. And so I've noticed that some of these trades that I've been entering have been taken all day sometimes, or I go to sleep and I'm waking up, and that's not really the kind of trading I want to do. So I really kind of want to zoom in. I can still pay attention to the overall trend and some major spots, but as far as what I'm doing for the day of trading, I want to take some of that internal movement so that I can play into some of those longer moves of the day. So I'll just take you through these last three that I did, and then we'll just hit play and see what we can get. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. First thing I notice, very quick trade. Lasted all of 36 minutes, right? In and out. That's what I like. So very simple. Notice this trend, very internal trend, right? Price is working its way down. So if I count the structure just from a little bit higher, I can say here. So boom, 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 and I'm waiting for this trend to break, right? As soon as it breaks down to this level, this is the retrace that I wanted to play. And so as it got up in here, entered somewhere about right here, put my stop loss above this high that was just created here, and take my profit here for a 2.51 gain. Very simple, short, sweet, to the point. On this trade, looking for the same thing, seeing this trend go, 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 get a nice break. I put my entry somewhere in the middle of this here, lined up with this low here, covered the high, did not have enough momentum to get down there. And so I get stopped out again pretty quickly, which I appreciate. It doesn't take all day to take my money, but 3.5 hours. So that's how long I feel like I would want to be in a trade. I don't want to be in a trade any longer than that. So the fact that it went down, I think I had a point here where I could have possibly moved it to break even, but I thought I'd give it room to breathe. Didn't work out this time. Then another one. Okay, we're back going down. So the overall trend is down, remember? So here we've got our internal structure here moving downward. At this point, I'm looking at here, right? And it actually does a nice underneath touch. Wasn't looking at that at the time. But it breaks down, and so at this point I'm convinced, and I try to get in right around this level here, in and out in an hour, 58 minutes. So I'm looking for those quick trades, and I'll just continue on from here, and we'll just go ahead and press play. Okay, so looking to go down to continue the downtrend. I like to see trending, right? What I don't want to see is straight lines across, right? I want to see it trend upward before it breaks down. When it's flat like this, it does lead me to believe that it could be a reversal, right? Whenever you see price ranging, it could be doing, a version of Wyckoff accumulation or distribution. So in this case, I'm going to keep my eyes open for long, but again, my current bias, because the trend is going down, is short. So let's see if we can get that. Yeah, not liking this flat part, but okay. So here's the trending that I like to see, like that there. So if I can get it to break, I know, okay, a little bit of a break there, but nothing significant. I wanted to see a strong negative candle if I'm going to enter. Yeah, the hovering going sideways does not convince me. Okay, so at this point, it looks like we could be going in an uptrend. We broke above the previous high here. That was our high. Right, we got that high here. So if it continues to hover above here and break up, then I will change my bias to looking for longs. If I take a look in the bigger picture, it's still going down. So this could be a manipulation to go up and then right back down. So keep my eyes peeled for that, but I'll let price dictate what we see. Okay, so we did end up kind of breaking down from here. So let's take a look. It's kind of high for here. I may be able to take this, but again, that's asking for a lot from the price. So rather than have price go so far down, I'll wait for another rally upward and the break of that to get in. And okay, I did not get that. Right, so this is why I stay patient. Right, I'm able to stay patient, look at the market, take what it gives me. So far, it hasn't given me anything that I've seen. Right, it was going up. I didn't believe in the up because we had been going down, so I waited for it to break. It did not get the break, so I didn't trade. Gets up to here, I'm saying, okay, well, it can still be going down, right? Missed this break here, which luckily I didn't try to enter and get in on a late trade because this would have blown me out of the water. But I would decide to wait for another trickle up and then break down because price will always do that. It's going to have the opposite pullbacks. So I'm waiting for those opposite pullbacks to show me their hand. But now it looks like price could continue to go upward. So this could be invalid, really. So let me delete that off of there just to not have confusion. So let's see what price does for a little bit. Give it a little breathing room, let it make a decision, and then try to follow that decision. Okay, it looks like here, I mean, it has made this decision to go up. Let's see if we can catch a downtrend and then a break up. Okay. Let's see if it breaks up. I might be comfortable taking something like this. Targeting maybe this high. Was that 213? So I might have to adjust my entry to there. Let's see if it breaks above. If I don't get the break above, then no. Okay, it broke down. All right, so we could still be going down. So it wicked this high now, and it could be going downward. There's a lot of space down here that I think it could go down, get into that space, and still break upward. So I'm still going to have my biases long for now. If we start seeing weakness in this area, then I would change it to downward. But just because there's so much space for price to come back down into and still be considered an uptrend, I'll still be looking for that long. And I might get it here. Let's see. Okay, and so it's broken out here. This may be the only time that I get price at this level. And I've been waiting for quite some time, so I know that should not affect me, but I'm still looking for this high. You know what? I'm going to wait. Okay, now I've got also a slight down here, but that's far more risky as it's super internal. But if it breaks above there, I will go ahead and use that as a stop loss. See, there we go. So am I going to be able to get in here? That is a big stop loss for the price that I am targeting. Is there a price that makes sense above here that was worth targeting? I can maybe do this here and try to come in at the top here. Let's see if price retraces enough to get me in this trade. Doesn't look like it's going to. That hurts. Well, give me a second chance. I think at this point, if it does go back down there, the way it's hovering, again, I like trending markets. This seems to me to be a flathead. So I'm going to go ahead and take that trade off the table. We have been going in a nice little uptrend. The 200 moving average has even started following it from back up here. Now, I'm not looking for the big moves. Like I said, I'm doing a more zoomed in perspective. So we'll see what happens as we reach this here. I would like to see a breakthrough, one way or the other. Okay, so we've got the breakdown. Now again, I'm looking for some kind of trend up that gets broken. It's not quite a trend up, very small. I think that would be a risky trade to take here. I haven't taken a trade yet, guys, so I've got to get into something. And this looks good as we're revisiting this zone where we last used as support. So let's see if price wants to come down and waddle in there. Okay. Oh, okay. At this point, I definitely have to take some money off the table. So I don't want to see price get all the way back here. I'll even put it right here, so I'll make a little bit of profit should it not get there. But I'll give it a little space to breathe because that was a quick dump, so it might have to come up to play a little bit. Oh, that hurts. That hurts, and there it is. Okay, but because price is going down, I've got this here. So although I'm out of this trade at a, we'll just call it break even. We're gonna look, see if we get a breakdown. I'd like to see this low. This is not that far. See that low get broken before I commit. Okay, there we go. So I'm looking for the short. Perfect. Here, the one that I was trying to get earlier. If I would have just left it in, I understand that, but it was a way to avoid risk. Maybe could have used a better entry. Okay, it's whipping around. I don't like that. I need you to go ahead and break this low. So I'll give you 2 more candles before I give a break even. 1, 2. All right, I'm moving it to break even. If this trend is truly down, it shouldn't have any reason to come back up here before it gets down into these levels here. Ugh. I don't like that, guys. I don't like that. I'm moving just a little bit more, so in case there's fees here, I don't have to worry about that. Give it to me. Wow. Okay, there we go. All right, so we've got one. So the key is to be patient. I noticed that it did take me a while from Tuesday, which would have been at midnight, would have woken up and been on Bitcoin. And I don't usually take, as you guys have seen, I haven't been taking trades on Bitcoin all that much. So to go a whole day without really being convinced on a Bitcoin trade is not unlikely, right? I've got XRP and Solana as well, but I just wanted to try Bitcoin because I hadn't been getting to practice with it and show you guys. So right now I'm break even and a win. So I guess I'm convinced of price going down. Came up here, walled above this high, right? That flat top, guys, look out for that flat top. Broke down. Now we're going downward. So yeah, I'm looking for these uptrends and get a break. This is a sharp one. I don't know if I'll necessarily take this that sharp, but let's just see how it develops. Okay. Now if it does go ahead and break, let me get that out of the way. If it does go ahead and break some of these highs up here, I will turn into somebody that could be a long. All right, breaks this high, comes back down, and then goes back up, possibly. I've got to be open to both ways, especially when I'm trying to trade these short trades, right? This trade would have been in for an hour and 50 minutes. This one, had I moved my entry up a little bit more, I'm sure I would have broken it around in this area, so it would have been about an hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, trying to keep it under that 2 to 3 hour mark. So let's see if we get a breakdown or a breakup. Looks like we're getting the breakdown, just fine with me. All right, I'll wait for the, yeah. Oh. Okay, again, once you get the breakdown, it's not about trying to enter right at the breakdown. If price is truly going one way or another, it will give you another opportunity to get in. It may not be the biggest opportunity, but it'll give you a small window, and those small windows are what I'm looking for. So right now, because it is going up, bucking up against this flat, right? I don't like trying to trade on that flat. I want to see breakthrough or breakdown. If we get a breakthrough, though, I've got a nice point to put my stop loss. Kind of following this path here, see if it can get broken. I'd like to see it hit below this low before I think about taking another short. Yeah, that's good. All right, so now I'm back looking for shorts. Once price is trending up against me, that's good. That's really good. That's what I like to see. Now this one I'll enter on. There it is. We take the short from here. Have anything to aim for? Something down here, but I don't need that. So this should be a pretty decently high probability trade. Oof, so much higher probability. Got blown out of the water, so -1 there. Okay, I'm looking into Wednesday. All right, I think I'll go to the end of Wednesday and then be done. So whatever I have is what I have. So break even 0, win 2.5, loss I am at positive 1.5. Let me keep that in my mind here. Not too bad. Not too bad after a Tuesday of trading. All right, caught some more trades towards the end of the day than I did at the beginning. And so sometimes that happens. Sometimes you watch all day, you don't see anything, and then 2 or 3 trades happen at nighttime. So we're getting a strong bounce here. Not sure what this is coming from. I don't know if this is a Fed day or not. I doubt it. So we'll just see what happens. All right, so price is clearly shooting upward now. This was our previous high. Broke that previous high. Came down, did not get to the previous low, you know. So now we're going up. Would like to see it cross through here. But on the way, if it does offer me that chance to get up to there, I probably would take it. Let's see what it does. It looks like it's moving too fast for me to get in. Okay, it's having some kind of retrace here. So I've got to take this as a strong trend. Honestly, I do really want to take that one. Let's give it one more. I'm going to leave it. Dang it. Okay. All right. So it's getting up to this level, breaking through with ease. All right, nice. So yeah, I think I'm getting in on the next retrace. Small or big? Is that flat, guys? It's kind of flat, isn't it? What is it going up? So I've got the trend here. All right, and it's going up. So I don't want to go against the trend, but it's not giving me any really nice ones. This one was a nice one, and I should have taken it, and I said I was going to, but I didn't. And then this one here is flat, and I don't like to do the flats because too many weird things happen. I like trending markets, and so we're breaking down on this trend. I mean, that's a slight drop, right? A very slight one. And if price doesn't go too far below, then it offers an okay stop loss. Okay. Okay. I feel confident in this one. Let's see if it'll come back. All right. Give it some time to get some juice. What time of the day is it? 8 a.m. Okay, there we go. Pumping up. At this point, because it's such a high volume up there, I'm going to move my stop to break even. Anytime you get a high volatility thing, you never know what way it can whip, and you just don't want to be on the bad side of those things. So it got pretty close. Confident. At this point, it should just go ahead and hit that point if it's going to. If it does come back down, then chances are it's not going to be well for me anyway. So break even it is. Free trade. And I'm out. So, yeah, got pretty close. Got to 205. So 2%. Had I moved my stop loss down to where I thought I wanted to down here, I would have been good. But that's the way I play it. Again, those entry points. Entry points. But these are okay. These break evens I'm not mad at. It happens. It is what it is. Again, I'm trading 3 different assets. So if this happens on one asset, I'm not too bent out of shape. But again, I'm convinced in the long. So let's see if we can break trends. Not enough. Still not enough. The sideways movement is not what I want to see. Kind of going down now. If we get below here, I may be convinced to take some shorts. Let's see what that level is like. Okay, we broke through what I thought was a flat. So let's see if we can get any trending back upwards. Ooh, okay, I like that. I like that. See if we can break that. Yeah, there we go. We're shorting from there. Boom, because that's not that big of a stop loss. So I'm perfectly fine shorting from there. Making my money down in here. Previous high, nice zone. See what it does here. It could possibly cause some support here. We'll see. Ooh, see these wicks. Don't like to play with these wicks, guys. Don't like it at all. Something in my gut tells me to move it to break even. Let's see what it does. Yep, should have done it. Another -1. We got to break even. Since our 1.5, we've got to break even in a -1. So we're really sitting at 0.5 with not a lot of the day left. See if we can end positive on this one. Okay, so we are breaking upward in this trend that we've been going up. So sometimes it does have to reset. The larger trend, see if we can draw it out here, has now been broken. So I'm looking for the longs. Almost got convinced of that one. Okay, am I still looking for longs? Maybe. Okay, price seems to want to come back down. But I'm going to run a fib here to see. These are the retrace levels, right? Here's some key levels here, back here. Right, so if price holds some support here, I may still be okay looking for a long. Because the long-term trend is long. I know I want to get that zoomed in perspective, but I also don't want to get burned on too many trades either. Okay, so price has gone through all those retracement levels. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that and start looking for some shorts. Okay. Here we go with a little retrace here. See if I can get a breakdown on that. Yeah, price is kind of heavy back to that side. Okay, let's see if I can catch it before it flushes. If it flushes, didn't even get down. There we go. Yeah, that's what we want to see price. I'm definitely moving it to break even by now. Not playing any games with it. And there we go. We got a barely touch. I love those. The touch is almost exactly what you thought it would be or what it could be. Nice. Still looking for the shorts. If you break this trend, I'm on it. Especially if you give me a nice little retrace like you did last time. Perfecto. Yeah. Getting the sideways action, guys. I don't like it. I don't like it. This is a nice little trend. Got broken. Let's trust it. Let's trust the trend. It broke down. That's what we're looking for. Do we have any targets over here? No, we're in price discovery on a 2-minute time frame. Let's try it out. Okay, I do want to see price break down, or else I'm going to get out of break even. You need to break down here. There we go. Okay. It spent a lot of time in my stop loss zone. Bad entry, I know it. But it's not getting down here quick enough. So I'm going to give you 2 bars to develop, because this is a space that you could come back to in this area. But I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that big wick, break even time. Yeah. I want to see how this develops, even though I got out at 0. Let's see how this develops. It's the end of our Wednesday. Okay. All right. I'm okay with that. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go to bed and just be worried about a trade that could be waddling around. And yeah, I'm okay. Price is clearly doing it, guys. I hate it. I hate it. There's always had some doubt and uncertainty. So when I get these flat lines, stay away. Stay away. It's not worth it. Not worth it. But it's also why I like trading Solana and XRP over Bitcoin, because Bitcoin doesn't give me those nice trends and nice fluid movements as I get over there on XRP. But I still do like my odds here, because let's see. We were at 1.5. Break even, 1.5. Minus 1, 0.5. Plus 2.5, so we're at 3%. And a break even. So overall in these last couple days just on Bitcoin, I end up with plus 3%. All right, not bad. Not bad. Being very patient, taking some trades at nighttime. Again, on Wednesdays, some days I work, some days I don't. So who knows what I would have been doing this day. But if I wasn't working, hopefully I would have been able to in front of the chart. And then, you know, I'm all the way in the charts all the way from morning to night, you know. So if I have something on my phone that looks good, jump down to my computer, maybe put a alert on, or maybe put the trade in then and there. So that's how it works. When I do this and I take my time and I don't rush it, it really kind of helps my emotions calm down and get me kind of back into the rhythm of things, right? I took that loss last week, but now I'm getting into the rhythm. I'm knowing, okay, you got to be patient with this Bitcoin. Solana and XRP, they allow you to get more aggressive when trading them. So getting back into the flow of Bitcoin and knowing, hey, Bitcoin, you got to wait a little bit. It's like your granddad. You got to wait on him, you know, give him some time. But with that being said, my next steps, again, make sure that I have 10 back trades per day. Here I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in front of you guys. 7, so I'd have 3 more. And you see, and if I'm not explaining it and running through it, then obviously it goes much faster when I'm on my own. So definitely doable, and I'll keep you guys updated on how that's going. Just got to find a consistent balance that works for me. So with that being said, please keep in mind, this is not financial advice. It is for educational purposes only. Before you begin investing and or trading your hard-earned money, consider consulting a financial advisor. And just remember, this is the journey, not the highlight reel. Trade smart, live free.